I'm Fiorella from Fiorella Eats, and today I'm going to show you how to make a traditional Neapolitan meatball slider, okay? So the first thing that we're going to start with is the tomato sauce, okay? And you can get all of these recipes on my website. One of the interesting things that we do every single year in September, we do the tomato harvest. We can our own tomatoes, so this is basically what we come up with. We cut up some Jersey tomatoes, some plum tomatoes. We cut them up, we put them in the mason jar after they've been cleaned and dried to perfection. We cut them up, put them in this mason jar with sea salt and some basil, and then we boil them. And you can also get those directions on my website as well, because we would never be able to have store-bought tomato sauce in my family only because there's so much sugar there, and this was so much more delicious. Now, if you are not going to be canning your own tomatoes like we are, the other thing that you can do is you can get canned tomatoes, either crushed or whole. If you get them whole like this in a can, which is great, not jarred tomato sauce, but the whole in the can, which is just a tomato intact. You can make your own tomato sauce using the cans, and it's very, very similar to this, I found. Crushed tomatoes are the best versus the sauce or the whole tomatoes. So after you make your tomato sauce, we make our Neapolitan Meatball Ragu, which involves a Neapolitan meatball, which you can find the recipe on my site, sausage, and some Ragu meats, which can vary from oxtail to pork shoulder. And we went ahead, and my mom went ahead and made all of this already for me. And so this is very simple. The meatballs are just soft and delicious to perfection. What we're going to do is do a deconstructed little slider on some Bruschetta bread here, and just on the side. And mind you, not always, this doesn't always have to be on some sort of bread. You can put it on a beautiful warm arugula salad as well, or on a warm bed of eggplant, okay, roasted eggplant that's chopped up on a plate, and then put this ragu sauce with some ricotta cheese. But today we're going to put them on bread. So what we can do is we can create some fresh ricotta, and we can pan the bread here with some fresh ricotta on the bottom, so it's kind of a little bit of a, somewhat of a deconstructed, even lasagna, you might want to say. So here's some fresh ricotta, and the fresh is very important because the creaminess and the fluffiness of this particular cheese really is going to lend well, okay? So now, I'm going to go ahead and put this down here, and you would go and you would get, you know, chop it up a little. You don't want these gigantic meatballs on your bread because of course it's going to like fall apart. And you can go ahead and put that on there. And use it sparingly. We don't have to overstuff with this beautiful sauce that's just kind of dripping over it here. Okay? And over top of that, you put like a little more sprinkle of a very sharp cheddar, I prefer, versus the traditional mozzarella, which to me doesn't have as much flavor, and I like to really kick up the flavors in these. The other thing you can do is you can grab some of the mozzarella on the bottom here too, if you like that, if you want some more of a melting quality to it, and you can go ahead and maybe put some of the sausage on here, which is great. So that is going, you can just cut this sausage basically in halve it so that it lays more flat on the bread. Right, so you have our traditional sausage ragu with a tomato sauce on it. So that looks really beautiful too. And you can also have that at dinner parties. That's make them smaller to have more of an appetizer effect. And a little bit more of a sprinkle of the mozzarella over top of it, very rustically so. And I do have to say that this is more of an ode to my Italian American heritage rather than my Italian heritage, because a lot of the times this is very much a Southern Italian immigrant construct with the meatball parm sandwich, which is not really found in Italy. Interestingly enough, this came through the acculturation of American immigrants, Italian-American immigrants into the United States, and putting meatballs and this idea of parmigianaing food. In Italy, you wouldn't really find this sort. There'd be meatballs, but it would be in a different context than on these types of parmigiana food items. But nonetheless, here we are. Here's my ode, and it all starts with a fresh canning of Jersey tomatoes.